Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Behind the Curtain Interviews with Excellence. And if you've read the description, if you've read the title of this episode, you know exactly who is about to be appearing on this screen. I'm not going to say much about this man because if you see this man online, he's quite controversial in my opinion because you never know what he's going to do next. You never know what he's going to say next, and you never know what ice lolly he's going to pull out next. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to introduce on Behind the Curtain my guest for this evening, the freaking pit bull. It is Hybrid. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, DJB. Thank you for having us.
Not a problem. How are you doing?
Very tired.
Very tired. You've been training?
Always. I'm never not training. And I've been working.
Oh, very good. Very good. I like that. Training, working, business, pleasure. We've got a lot of people watching us right now. We've got Jaden watching. Hi, DJB and Hybrid. Ethan watching. I know you know Ethan quite well. Good evening to you all. We've got Angie watching, saying hi, DJB and Hybrid. Good evening, Angie. I know you know Angie as well.
I know Angie's oxygen tank.
I know you do. I know you know Angie's oxygen tank very well. There's the Blue Brev Sulfrina. You saw action with her. It was last month, I believe, at March to Glory in that ring. Ed Hunter, Evening Brevs and Brevettes. There's the man himself, General Manager Strange. Hey, Brevs, good evening. Good evening, Zoe, who I'm going to assume is either sitting beside Strange or she's upstairs. And hi, Angie saying hi to Strange. Lots of people watching. Second best good-looking guy to sit next to DJB on a podcast.
Who's first?
I'm assuming he means himself.
Okay.
And Andrew Dixon, he's here. Howdy, Andrew. And Mr. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Nice to see Mr. Okay. But we're not here for any of them. Sorry, guys. We're here for that guy there, Hybrid. It's lovely to see you. I've got lots of questions for you, but before we dive into that, is there anything you'd like to say to anybody?
Just in general.
Just in general. Just get it off your chest now.
Don't fry bacon in a nip.
I can agree with that one, actually. I really can. Spawny's watching. Evening, Spawny. So is SME Guy. Nice to see you here, SME Guy. But like I said...
I thought it was SME Guy.
SME Guy. He represents social media entertainment. Good friend of mine.
Yes.
So we've got lots of questions for you. Lots and lots of questions. But I'm going to start near enough at the beginning. What drew you to professional wrestling in the first place? Why wrestling?
Oh, my goodness. I think when you think of like the ages that people get into wrestling, I was quite late getting into it. It was about 2008 because I remember all my friends were talking about WrestleMania 24, where it was the triple threat between John Cena, Randy Orton, and Triple H. And I was just, all I had was, the annuals that they're done every year.
Yeah, you got to read about it.
The only one I had was like the 2006 one. So I was reading up, I was like, oh, I know these people, yeah, didn't have a clue. And then I remember my stepdad was working away and he came back and he always bought me and my brother something back. So he brought back like a 3-pack of wrestling figures each. He got Undertaker, Carly, and someone else. And I got Orton, Jonathan Coachman, and Cena. We did start watching it. And the first match I seen was a From the Vault match. I don't know if you remember that show.
Yeah.
From the Vault. And it was Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. It was the Halloween one where he's wearing the purple gear.
Yeah, Halloween Havoc.
And I just got into it. I got the box set of WrestleMania 24 when it came out. Started getting the DVDs. Then I eventually started getting the pay-per-views. But yeah, it was quite late for me. I think when I was getting into it, 2008, that's when a lot of people were kind of like getting out of it in my age.
What made you want to actually make the leap from being a fan to being an actual wrestler to get into the ring? And did you find it hard at first?
Not really. I didn't find it hard. I kind of fell off a bit when it came to becoming a fan. I was never really a big, massive fan, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. This show's about honesty. I'm not going to come on here and say I was born to be a wrestler, that sort of stuff. Again, I enjoyed watching it now and again. I went to one live event at this point, and it's when I used to do MMA training. There was somewhere in South Shields, or like Chichester, no, Tyne Dock area. And so we trained in the bottom, in the cage and stuff. And above there was a wrestling school. And I remember I needed the toilet once, and I went upstairs and I seen them, and I was like, I'll just give this a try.
Why not? Anyway, look where it's brought you now. And speaking of getting into that ring and doing transitioning for the first time from being a fan to a wrestler, when you got into the ring for the first time, can you tell us much about that very first match and what you remember about it? Is there anything that stands out?
Yes, there's a few things. First of all, I hated the venue. It was absolutely massive. It was too big. Big sports hall. Compared to the fans that we got in, it was just an awkward feeling. But it had a really big female changing room and a really big male changing room. So that was very important.
Yes.
I got really, really lucky with my first match. It was a tag team match. And it just so happens the three other people in that match were trainers of mine. So it was me. I'm sure you won't mind us saying it was me and David Wood, who was my primary trainer, against Kirsty Love, who had taken a few classes, and Cabby, who frequently got involved as well.
Yeah.
So I was in with, God, I mean, if you count anything, there's probably like 30 or 40 years worth of experience between them three.
Wow.
And then I was in a big Rumble match after that, and I was kind of second in that, runner up, if you would. And then, yeah, but that tag match really stands out. Like, I'm really grateful. I mean, as well, I really felt awkward about it. Obviously, being in the ring with a woman. But Kirsty Love is not just any woman.
I bet she didn't feel awkward about being in the ring with you.
I was hitting her, and she just wanted hitting harder. And I was like, what? I was like, I hope she's not going to hit me back this hard. But, yeah. But that kind of opened my eyes as well when I was like, it wasn't so much of a sexist thought. Like, oh, I don't want to share a ring with a woman. I don't want to fight a woman. But I've matured so much since then in regards to that, because what they can do is just as incredible as what we can do.
Oh, yes, 100%. 100%. So this question's been asked by it's not only on my sheet, but it got asked 3 times by 3 different fans. I got asked this. Obviously, you weren't birthed with the name Hybrid. No mother is going to call that kid Hybrid. Where did that name come from? How did you get it?
Well, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked it. I just didn't really have a name. I came into the ring doing training, and a lot of it's like in regards to your bumps, your takedowns. A lot of it I did take from the MMA side of it when I'd done MMA. So it was just a case of, in my head at the time, bring the wrestling side, bring the MMA side, put it together, make it a hybrid of both. And that's where that came. Because originally, I was never the friggin' pitbull. It was the legit combat athlete. But then, the more I'd done wrestling, I was like calling myself a legit combat athlete. It's like, is a backhand to anyone who's like done this, not even for like 20 years, but even like 5 years. Because what we do hurts.
It was a show of respect on your behalf.
I changed it quite quickly, I think.
I like it. I really do. I like the freaking pitbull hybrid, because you are a pitbull. Some of the things I've seen you do, wow.
I am quite impressive at times, aren't I? I shock myself
So
sometimes.
I'm just gonna go off here for a second. I remember a particular time. It was maybe about a year ago. I was booing you like crazy in the ring, but you pulled off. I think it was one of your spears, and I went, "Oh damn!" And you just turned and went, "You like that one though, didn't you?" And I did.
Were you on the camera at the time?
I was.
Yeah, I remember it.
It's
Because
fantastic.
my spear had rolled through and I kind of looked straight up at the camera. Yeah, I remember it. So we
Um,
have good moments. These are nice, good moments between me and you, DJB.
But you see, I've seen you do all these moves. I've seen you take it like the spear, the Superman punch, the Samoan drop. di- I've seen these in mainstream wrestling with the likes of Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. You know, the spear, the Superman punch. Did you have any major influences or idols growing up in the wrestling world that influenced your style in the ring?
Oh, good question. So growing up, I was from day one. First time I watched it, I was a Rey Mysterio and John Cena guy. The Rey Mysterio craze dropped off. I was never going to be like Rey Mysterio. But I just loved John Cena. I thought it was cap, he was cool as out. I had posters. But as I kind of became a wrestler myself and started training, there's people like who are like people like Baron Corbin, believe it or not, Samoa Joe, people like looking back, people like Umaga, I loved, and obviously I didn't really realize how much I liked him till afterwards. Kurt Angle, love Kurt Angle.
I love an athlete.
Out of all of them, I'd say not my favorite, but I take quite a lot of influence from the strikes, the Itsuguris, from Samoa Joe.
Right. I like that. I like Samoa Joe.
Even the senton and stuff like that. It's all stuff I've seen him do.
Yeah, I mean, it's not stuff you kind of see, and no offense, yeah. By the way, a bigger guy do. It's normally the really
I've
skinny,
lost weight.
small luchador.
I've lost weight.
You have, but it is normally the skinny luchadors you see flying around using their own body as weapons. But the likes of you and the likes of Samoa Joe, no, they'll throw themselves around no matter the size.
I think that's a really good point, and it leads into the type of fighting style I do.
That was the next question. How would you describe your in-ring style?
A lot of people like to say I'm technical. I don't. I do not think I'm that technical. I think I'll just outright say it. I think in IWF, I'm pound for pound the strongest member on the roster. But again, I don't think I've got that powerhouse build. Obviously, I'm one of the bigger guys, but describe it in one word, probably gritty. I'm quite gritty. Headbutts, flurry of strikes, gut shots.
I get that.
Is gritty a type of style, or am I just making stuff up?
Tell us about your.
It is now.
Tell us about your finishing move. What's it called, and how did you think of it?
So I've got two, and I'll tell you why I've got two. Obviously, I had the spear, the roll-through spear, which for anyone watching, it's a lot like Bobby Lashley's spear, except I'm doing it, not Bobby Lashley. And I think I'm,
You do a hell of a spear.
I do it good, but not as well as Bobby Lashley. I wanted to mix things up a bit, and I've done, it's called the high ground, spelled H-Y, ground. So it's an end of days. But you can do it from someone running into you, doing an end of days, or you can do it rip-coding them in to it. The reason I've kept the spear is because people like Walker, JJ Nova, Mad Max, all them bigger guys. I don't know if I could do it to them. So it's nice to have the spear in the back pocket still.
Understandable. I completely understand that, especially with the likes of Walker and JJ Nova. Massive. I don't think, no offense, I don't think you're going to be able to get them like that and flip them back over. It's I mean, I have actually, no, if I do recall, I have seen you lift JJ Nova onto your shoulders before.
Yes.
So, may not be as impossible as you think. Are there any moves that over the years you've retired or evolved over time as your career has progressed? Maybe something you used to use in your arsenal that you just thought,
Yeah,
that's not my thing anymore, but that's maybe just too dangerous.
no, I'd done it, and I used to do it in training a lot, and it was my finisher, and it was so you throw them, you throw your opponent against the ropes, they'd run back into you, you'd do a pop up, but as you popped them up, so you pop them up from the chest, as you pop them up, you'd get behind them and push them back, like so it would be like head
Ooh.
first into the mat. It looked really good. I think the first person in training who ever took it was a man called Persona. But obviously, he could make anything look good. And then I
Brilliant.
remember I turned on David, Thaddeus Vogue, at our first show, and I'd done it on him. And David's great. And it felt fine, but then I watched the video back and I was like, the spear I'd done during the match is what got noticed more than the finish. So I
All right.
just switched it after the first show.
Gonna get into a couple of comments here. So my good friend Jimmy's watching the real hybrid. Simply the best that is hybrid. I know exactly what he's referring to there. Another good friend of mine, Becky Schulenberg, she's watching as well. Jimmy's saying hybrid is part of the bloodline. Samoan dynasty confirmed. Oh, God. Acknowledge him, Jimmy. Acknowledge him. Angie does have a question. What did you do? Well, I'm guessing what have you done in your career that maybe wasn't that good, or but you'll never regret? Is there anything that you will never regret?
I don't quite understand that. Word it again. So
Is
it's
there
something.
anything that you've done that? Okay, let me word it. Is there anything you've done that maybe someone's found questionable, but you've just thought, what, I don't regret doing it?
No.
Good.
I've had bad matches. I've had bad moments, but they've all been learning curves. But thank you for the
They
question.
make you who you are.
Exactly.
Um, that goes into Ethan. Your biggest regret in wrestling?
Is it regret? Biggest regret. Listen, just call me Dabby, cause no regrets.
No regrets.
Oh.
Okay. I do have one more viewer question here. I did have it up before. We already know this one. Why did you get the name Pitbull Hybrid? Well, you know what? I'll split that. We've already asked about hybrid. Why the freaking Pitbull? Why Pitbull?
Don't know. It just felt right. I mean, when I've got a big hairy beard and when I'm fat as out, I don't know. I just look like a pit bull, like a pit bull, and then I shave my beard and I look like Mr. Blobby. So I couldn't be calling myself the Blobby hybrid.
Brilliant. So now you did mention earlier on MMA, and we know you've got an interest in MMA. Where did that interest start? Have you always been into it?
The interest for MMA was when I was growing up. That's what at my dad's, at my mum's house, they would never have put MMA or anything on. That's what was on. That's what my dad watched. He watched Formula One. He watched obviously football, and he watched a lot of the UFC highlights. And when I started seeing people like the Chuck Liddells, this was before Brock Lesnar came. Yeah, this was before Brock Lesnar came into it. Otherwise, I think I would have been like a massive Brock Lesnar fan. But Randy Couture, Chuck Liddell, Velasquez, all of them. Yeah, I remember like the fights from that, the entrances, and to be honest, to this day, I think if as much as I love wrestling, as much as it's gave us a lot, if you could offer us a ticket to see a UFC event or a WrestleMania, I think I'd prefer and I'd enjoy to go see a UFC event more. That's just me being honest. I'm not.
I kind of understand that. I do kind of understand that. I would still choose Mania.
It's completely different. Like show, you can call it showbiz. It's completely different. But boxing, which showmanship wise is obviously similar to MMA and wrestling, I suppose. I hate boxing. Absolutely despise it.
All right.
Fun fact.
I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but do you train in any sort of MMA disciplines outside of the ring?
Not anymore.
But you have.
Oh yes, absolutely. So I was, to put it bluntly, I lost my last fight, and that kind of threw me toys out the pram. I just wasn't happy in myself. I was, oh God, I must have been pushing about 18 stone as well, because I was always one of those where I was one of the shorter guys, but I was one of the heavier ones still, and I used that a lot. I used the weight. Um, when we get to like takedowns, a lot of it would be me sprawled out on them, getting them tired,
Yeah.
and then going in for like body shots and stuff like that. So when I kind of like lost my last fight, I was like, well, that was like the one thing that I like was like almost a finishing move in that. I think like if I went back to MMA now and started training that, I'd need like a whole new mindset, a whole new strategy, stuff like that. Because I'm not as big as I was. I'm definitely fitter than I was as well.
That leads into the next question. Would you ever consider going back to MMA?
Going back to MMA training, fight wise, I wouldn't. I, oh, it really depends where I was at with me wrestling. Because obviously, that's such a good question. It really is. It's. I really don't know. I could be a lot better than I was now, or I could be a lot worse. I could have picked up some nasty habits from being away from it. I mean, I haven't drank in like, God, how old's Kellen? 2.5. I haven't drank in like 2.5 years. I haven't smoked in that long. Um, Anything else that's obviously questionable that I won't really say on here.
Good for you.
But like fitness level, I would be fitter now. Strength and skill, I don't know.
All right.
Yes, I think I would. I'd go back to train in a heartbeat, and I think that would lead us to wanting another fight.
So I am going to move back over to the wrestling side of things now. And at a previous promotion, you were a multiple-time champion. We are going to talk about your World Heavyweight Championship reign first. What did winning that championship for the first time mean to you? Uh, was it a feel-good moment? Was it like a moment, I've deserved this, this is all my hard work paying off? Or what was going through your mind?
So at the time, on the night when I won it, great. I had my manager at the time who just happened to be like one of my best friends. Kellen was a month old. He got in the ring. I loved it. I was like, yes, this is what I've worked for. I deserve this. That lasted that one show. The next show, as the World Heavyweight Champ, I wasn't main eventing. I was on the poster that one time that I was World Champ. One time I was on the poster. I didn't main event. The only time I main evented was when I lost the title. So yeah, at the time winning it, it felt great. Secondary storyline, show after. And yeah, I know I wasn't ready to be champion. I know I didn't deserve it. Looking back, I've said this for over a year now. I was too new. I didn't deserve it. My mindset was wrong. Wrestling didn't owe me anything. But I deserved a chance. Like, after I made as champion, I deserved a chance to show what I could do.
Yeah.
My first match. I'm not going to slate him because I love him a bit, but man, Max Cooper, second match on the card. And the Carnage title was main event. And I was just like, this is my first title defense. And it's slap bang in the middle of the card. Like, who's actually going to care?
Yeah,
So
I understand.
the moment was great. Looking back, winning that World Heavyweight Championship at that previous promotion meant jack shit to us. It meant out.
Well, we do move on from that World Heavyweight Championship onto a championship that, quite frankly, I loved seeing you carry around. I see the smile on your face, and that was it was the OK 24/7 Championship, which you made your own. You made it your thing, almost obsessively. Please talk to us about that and what the mindset of hybrid during that reign.
So we'll just backtrack a little bit. So when Hybrid came in as a good guy in this company, he was, if you go on your wrestling game and look at generic face number 3, that was Hybrid. He was boring. He had no character. Like, it was just crap. When I got told I was winning this square, ugly, ridiculous, ugly square championship, I was absolutely livid because I'd been doing some good work at the time, and people who weren't doing as good a job as me were getting better titles. So I spoke to the promoter. I said, "Listen, I know you want a title because I was in a faction with 3 other very talented individuals. We gelled well together. I think it was one of the better things looking back now. At the time, I thought it was a failure. Looking back now, I'm like, God, they had gold dust there. And I know titles were going to put on all of us. So 2 guys got given the tag. One got, you'll have to correct us, was it a Carnage or a Light in the Dark? It wasn't a Light in the Dark.
It was Carnage.
Carnage, yeah. And I got saddled with that photo frame looking thing with all the jewels falling off it.
Yeah, I held that belt too.
And I said to the promoter, I said, "Are you sure about this?" Because a lot of what this title is backstage stuff, promos. I work full time. I've got Kellen. I know I keep saying Kellen. I've got my son full time. I don't have time to go. I don't have time to go in churchyards and forests and stuff like that and do like weird promos. He was like, "No." He's like, "Bro, we'll make it work, bro."
John Flashback watching.
Oh, yeah, bro.
And Jam Dog.
What a treat to tune in to see 2 handsome gentlemen.
He's got all red.
I am probably like one of the most self-conscious people in real life. So yeah, I was like, right, he was like, "Bro, we'll make it work, bro. At the end of the day, bro, it is what it is, bro." And I was like, right, bro, what we'll do, bro, is I'm going to have a bit of faith in you. You're having faith in me to make this work. And from day one, when I got that title, I'll say it, I made that title mean something. For 6 months, when people didn't know who your world heavyweight champion was, who didn't know who the lantern holder was, or the tag team champions were, everyone knew who the 25-8 better than OK champion was. That's because it was the freaking Pitbull, and he was working overtime, baby. The fact that it wasn't just a confidence booster. It was just so refreshing to be like the more fun side, to have a bit more control. Because I was doing these promo videos, and I wasn't even running it past the promoter. I was running it past people like yourself, people like Strange, people like Jam Dog, who were all going great, great, great. And I was like, I'm doing this off my own back. I'm making this what it is. Obviously, they were giving feedback as well. And I was like, I'm doing all this by myself. And it's like, I don't know how it would have got it, but wait. The promoter, he had the wrong idea about it. He was making bad calls. I was losing the people I shouldn't have been losing to. I was winning it. I was winning the matches in ways I shouldn't have been winning it. but I think it speaks volumes to the fact that some of their matches were really good that I had defending that title. Some of the promos were incredible. But I think that title run really put Hybrid on the map. That big, square, ugly square championship.
I'll never
That
forget it, man.
I,
It was
I've got a
hilarious.
special place in my heart.
So Johnny Flashback saying it's called making chicken salad out of chicken chips. Hey,
You
great
can't argue
analogy.
with that. That's speaking of Brock Lesnar, that's what he said on one of the UFC series. So I know Johnny Flashback's big. Well, he used to be big, and it was UFC.
So we are going to move away from the last promotion and to the current promotion. In fact, no, we're not. No, we're not. I'm going to skip that, and I'm going to immediately talk about this. We've got to know, Hybrid. What's the obsession with Ice Lollies?
Hey, Ice Lollies are unreal.
It's an obsession at this point. Every time we see you, there's an Ice Lolly. Different types, different flavors, different colors, different sizes, different shapes.
Absolutely.
Are you an Ice Lolly connoisseur?
I'd go as far as to say that Hybrid's fingers have been in a few of the old Ice Lolly pies. He's definitely taste tested a few.
You take them on the roadway. So if let's say you're traveling up and down the country, do you pack them away in your suitcase?
No.
Well, maybe not because they'll melt.
Exactly. No, but so I've got a tradition now. Always after show day, get Kellen back, get him bathed, get in bed, and I'll order a late night takeaway. Just because you know how late our shows go on for. He usually has his tea with Zoe. Shout out Zoe. She just feeds him non-stop. So Kellen's full. He can go to bed because sometimes it's like 10 o'clock when we get in. Sometimes it's even later. I'll have a takeaway. And I'm one of them guys that after you've had something savoury, you've got to have a little bit something sweet. And that's where the Ice Lollies come in. So that's tradition now. After every show, there's an Ice Lolly.
I like that. I like that. That's a nice little story behind it. I
the
like
little
that.
things in life, innit?
Yeah. Someone asked earlier on, and I've already got it on my sheet as well. Any favorite flavor or brand?
I'm not a big fan in general. I like eating them, but I'm not a big fan of like berry stuff or strawberries. Like, do you know, like flavored things.
Yeah.
I'm tropical through and through. I like your pineapples, your mangoes, your coconuts. I'm exotic. So the exotic Solero for me.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Anything else?
Any particular?
Do you know like chocolate Ice Lollies as well?
Yes.
Feasts
Yes.
and Magnums.
Magnums. I like a Magnum.
I don't rate them all too much. One of the things I absolutely despise now, chalk ices. I hate chalk ices. Like, do you know what? Are you seeing them Oreo sandwich ones as well?
Yes.
Like the ice creams. I hate stuff like that. I hate the idea of like having an ice cream that you bite into and it all comes out the side. Like, just gives a stick.
Fab Ice Lollies, says Bluegrass.
Hate. That is probably the worst. Fruit pastel ones I like.
Oh yes, fruit pastel.
I don't know if I can say this, but I'm a bit of a slut for a fruit pastel lolly.
Slap on the wrist for that one.
I'm sure someone would say yellow card. But...
Yeah, there is a yellow card floating around there somewhere, I'm sure.
I've got millions.
Very important question here. If you had to choose between a lifetime supply of Ice Lollies in your freezer that just kept on magically restocking, or you own your own Ice Lolly making factory, what would you have?
I'd like my own Ice Lolly making factory, and I'd like to invest into getting my own brand of Ice Lolly.
Ooh.
I would call them Pit Pops.
Oh, right. Yes, petition for Pit Pops.
And it could go one of two ways. It could be like a proper nice, like out in the summer, garden parties, get your pit pops. A bit like a fruity, do you know the milk ones?
Yeah.
The milk kids ones.
Yeah.
The nice fruity one of them. It could either go that way, or it could release something for like the older people as well. Where, do you know them pens that you turn upside down and the clothes come off?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bit like that, but it's me naked.
Oh no.
No,
You can't be naked, Hybrid. Okay? Maybe doing an angry pose like grr. Holding your hammer.
I don't know where my hammer is. I've lost 3 of them. But
Lost. By
well,
lost, he means they'd probably dumped at the bottom of a river somewhere.
listen, I'm a panel wirer by trade. Like this is me coming out. I'm an electrical engineer. I use these things like for tools. I was bringing up to shows and they were just going missing. I was like, who's stealing me hammers? 3 of them I lost. I was like, I need these for work. The band needs new nappies.
So we are going to move, like I said before, from the previous promotion to the current promotion, the Imperial Wrestling Federation, and it's really taken off lately. When you joined, how did you feel when you first joined the roster?
Oh, I felt very happy. I felt very relieved. I felt very grateful, optimistic. Because I got told straight away when I got asked, it was a case of you, like creatively, your character is you. We're not going to tell you who to be or how to act. It's you. And I was just like, great. So all the good stuff, that the bits that I did like in that last promotion where I was, what would you say, like the last 6 months or something in that last
Yeah.
promotion, I got to be that still in a new promotion with like no drama, a fresh start, friends. So I'm really excited.
You do seem it as well. And we've seen that. We've already seen you in action, sir. At the pre-show match, Dropkick Match to Glory, you teamed up with Nate Sawyer and Alfie Jaxyn. How did that team come together, and what did you feel about when you were in the ring? Did you have chemistry with them? Because I know you've got history with Sawyer.
I've got a bit of history with Alfie as well. To be fair, have I tagged with Alfie?
Don't be talking tag. We'll get to tag soon.
No, I don't. Like, even looking back, I don't think I've ever tagged with Alfie. No. I know I've done one of our coming out shows that's run by the lovely Taylor. I was in a triple threat match with Alfie and Spawn. And me and Alfie worked really well in that together. And it was, you've got all these larger than life characters, and people were saying that was the match of the day. And I was like, considering
The Pride one, the outside one.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, people really loved that match, and I was like, oh, it's got like no like outlandish, colourful characters in it, and people still thought that was the best match. Nate, obviously I've got a history with Nate. How did it all come about? I think it was basically a case of, where the fat kids I was picked last in PE. I think it was just that. There wasn't many people left. All the good ones were taken. I wanted Persona.
And a lot of people wanting Persona lately. Before that match, though, backstage, this was the very first time opponents or not, it's the very first time IWF was there, ready to go out and entertain the fans in a ring. What was the feeling like backstage before you went out there? Any nerves?
No. And that's one thing I will say to Dropkick is thank you. Obviously, I won't go into detail. A lot of us, I don't even care if I get in trouble for it. A lot of us cut or had to cut a lot of the Dropkick guys out of pretty much our lives, were got made to feel like they were enemies, people that we'd worked with in the past, and these guys had welcomed us. We came groveling basically. We said, listen, we've made a mistake, we're sorry, we should have left early. This old promotion, we should have left earlier. Yous were right all along. And these guys just welcomed us with open arms, and the atmosphere backstage, honestly, it just felt like home. I swear to God. We had, I would say, probably a third of the people there were IWF guys, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Nah.
You'll have to help us. Who was that fella with a mustache?
Oh, Antonio.
Yes. I was talking to, he's Italian, yeah?
I believe so.
Yeah, I was talking to him about his mustache, and I was like, there was just no awkward silence or anything. I was like, what a lovely, lovely man. And what a lovely, lovely mustache. No,
Yes, Andrew, Legends at Dropkick, yeah, they are.
I'll plug them as well, because I've
Yeah,
done it there live. Dropkick training session is taken by Don Bronson. It is every Monday, I believe, between the times of 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. It is £5 for a child and £8 for an adult. So for 5 hours training, £8 for an adult or £5 for a child. That's like ridiculously good.
really good.
And like I said, just nice, salt of the earth people. So
That's what you want when you go in there. Yeah, Andrew's in there. He's a man on Monday, and it was fire. It was great, which is absolutely testament to the people.
for me, it's just because I was talking about going, and then I looked at the day and I was like, oh, it's like a Monday at 5. Like I'm still in. I live in Hartlepool, but I work in Newcastle, and I don't finish work till 5 anyway. So by the time I get back in all the traffic, it's like 7 o'clock by the time I get home. Like after I pick Kellen up, and I was like, there's just no way I can go. But I mean, if I offer private sessions or stuff like that down the line, I'd definitely go. And I can't stress to other people as well. If the training school is anything like the shows in the backstage area, the people like Colin, Don Bronson, and like Simon, J Money, like all these people that make it great.
They work their asses off. They really do.
There's a lot like IWF where we left the company and we had nothing, and we just built it up. And I think everyone, including myself in IWF, if you ever feel down, you need to look and have a look to see what these people have done from our position. So if we can achieve what they've done, I mean, if we can surpass it, even better. But if we can achieve what they've done from nothing, I'd be satisfied with that.
Yeah. What was the feeling like being a part of that first IWF victory, part of that team over the team of Persona, Sulfrina, and Walker Wall Street? Another man you know very well.
I have a feeling it was very unpredictable for the fans. I feel like it was very predictable for me. Knew I was going to win. I was making impression. How did it feel? It felt good. Obviously, these fans probably don't know who we are. And we were getting reactions from them. And whether we're booed, whether we're cheered, whether we're spat on, don't spit on us.
Yeah, please don't spit on the wrestlers.
It's a reaction at the end of the day. As long as people can talk about how much they hate us, or hate Nate, or hate Alfie, as long as it follows up with, but did you see the match they had at blah blah blah? It's a good match. Which I was getting a lot of that towards the end of the last promotion. It's like, oh, Hybrid, we hate you, but you are the funniest in this group, or you are the best in this group. And I was like,
yeah,
I know.
So we're in the final stretch of questions here, and it's I'm gonna ask: have you found a tag team partner yet, or are you still flying solo?
I mean, there's not many options left. I feel like I'm down to.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
I feel like I'm down to Mr. OK
Oh.
or Angie's oxygen tank. They me two options. I want to do it alone, but I know for a fact Strange won't go for it.
So here's one. If you could pick anybody in the world of wrestling to have as your tag team partner, who would it be?
Aside from yourself.
Aside from another hybrid, God forbid.
Oh, that would a lot of people would probably like that, you know. Who would I pick? Would you like one from like independent wrestling and then one from like?
Whatever you want to do. It's your interview. You answer how you feel. Mr. OK says he will. See? There you go.
Oh God, what have I done? One person to tag with on the independent scene first. I'd like to tag with one of my best mates outside of wrestling, which would be Johnny Flashback.
Oh,
Um,
that would be interesting.
yeah, we came in together. We debuted on the same show. We debuted on the same day. I mean, we won major titles. Wait, not at the same time, but within like a year of each other, things like that. So yeah, Johnny Flashback.
I like that.
See, that was quite an emotional answer, wasn't it?
It was. I wasn't expecting it.
And if I could tag with someone in the professional wrestling world, oh, actually, I've got two. And I bet you wouldn't think of either one of them. No, I've got three. I'm sorry, I've got three. So it would be Otis. I'd like to team with.
All
And I'm
right.
not on about Alpha Academy Otis. I'm on about Otis Dozovich from Heavy Machinery.
Okay.
Because I could just get right behind them stakes and weights, baby. I don't know if you ever watched Lucha Underground.
Not a lot.
Right, Son of Havoc, he's called. I think he's like, is he something Cross?
It
Son of
rings a
Havoc.
bell.
Son of Havoc. He was great. Everyone seemed to like Penta in Lucha Underground, but I was a Son of Havoc guy. Or Brian Cage.
Doesn't ring a bell. Your name's
Brian
come.
Cage,
Yeah.
AEW.
I'm not an AEW fan.
Not many people are now, are there? I'm trying to think. Cage, he's been in Lucha Underground, he's been in TNA, I think, and he's been in AEW, but no one
See,
blows up
I watched the big boy stuff.
IWF.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go looking them up afterwards because I always like to find out more
Honestly,
about people.
look at Brian Cage, big up in Brock Lesnar, just doing like backflips and all sorts. Incredible. Willie Mack, he had a match with. Yeah, Matt Cross. Yeah, so watch Brian Cage versus Willie Mack, Lucha Underground. Both of them absolutely incredible.
All right. Moving on. This might get deep, but what is your outlook on IWF's direction for this year going forward? And do you have any predictions or goals about what's going to happen?
For myself or as a company?
Yes.
Both. As a company, I mean, look who's training. Like, who's training us? You've got like Persona, who, quite frankly, everyone who steps in the ring says that he's like the best person they've ever wrestled. He's training these people. It's like there's nothing but good things going to come from that. Look who's the manager.
Oh yeah.
Someone who's just as like untapped and creatively, I'd say, better than me on these like ridiculous, stupid things. You've got the support from companies like Dropkick. It's just, I think within a year we'll be like a year of doing shows. So not a year from now, like a year from
So
shows.
yeah, in July.
We're talking. We'll have thousands and thousands of people on Facebook in groups. We'll have the Patreon flying. We'll have sold out shows every time. Without being arrogant, what we did, what what happened at the previous company. All the best people, all the best creative minds, and the best talented people from this last company. The thing that made the last company we were at good have all left and went IWF. That's not me taking shots or digs. That's just how it is. I could ask you what your favourite things were in that other company. I guarantee you get every single one of them things in this new company. This IWF.
Yeah.
And I think that's because we all do gel so well. Match-wise, creative-wise, promo-wise. Where would I like to see myself go?
Yeah, I mean, what's next for Hybrid? What does the future hold?
After I need to find a tag partner, first and foremost. That's the top thing. But every time Match of a Night's mentioned, if I don't get Match of a Night, a hybrid match will be in the conversation for Match of the Night. That's what I want. I've won titles. I've went undefeated. I've done incredible things.
You have? You really have?
I've had Match of the Nights, but I want to be like Persona is, how every time you talk about Match of the Night, his name comes up. And that's how I want it to be with me. I want to be a needle mover. I want people to buy tickets for me, not just IWF.
So, you're often seen creating hilarious videos. This was a question that's not long been sent in to me. It was sent in just earlier today. You're often seen creating hilarious videos. Do you take any inspiration from any comedians?
Nah, I don't really watch comedians. Like, in my head, I am the funniest person I know. So,
I don't disagree. I mean, Strange is a funny guy, you know. I'd love to see you work with Strange. That would be a hell of a partnership.
As soon as you said that, I've just thought of like the highlight reels and stuff. It's like it was like top 3 funniest moments. It was me on him on screen, and I wasn't even saying anything. I was just trying not to laugh. No, I don't. I don't take any. I watch a lot of TV shows, a lot of comedy shows, things like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I like Max and Patty, Phoenix Nights, Peep Show. I think I pluck bits and bobs out of there. So I mean, stage. I've just been watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I've just thought, right, you're gonna. I don't know when, but you're gonna be seeing a lot of Danny DeVito in my promos coming soon.
Yes, we need a rum ham as well.
Rum ham.
Rum ham. So
I might make like an alternative like rum ham, but I'll just call it like a partially eaten pickle or something.
yes, I do have 2 more questions for you. One of them's serious, one of them's not so serious. So we're going to start with a not so serious one. Sent in earlier today by ring announcer Ruby Baker. Have you solved the mystery of the bath pooper?
So to give a bit of context for those who don't know, me and Kellen have been to trial. There've been online debates. There's been evidence, police cordons. One of us was pooing in the bath. Now, the first time, no. The evidence was there. The first time it got cordoned off, it was bad. The second, right, and then there was no poo. So there was a big poo in the bath, and it looked like it could have came out of a grizzly bear. And it's confused us because it wasn't me. And bearing in mind my son's 2, I was like, Then, so I told everyone about this. I told them about this horrible thing that had happened. But after this, the same day, I blocked my toilet. And it was even worse. Like, there was barbed wire. Do you remember?
I remember.
There was barbed wires and like...
The pony.
So drove the horses on the stick that go... I had to use that to unplug the toilet, and I had to bin it, and I was like, no, you can't play with it. And then the week after, he pooed in the bath again. He tried to blame Lila. my daughter. I explained that Lila wasn't here this weekend, so it couldn't have been her. And then I bathed. This was the worst one when it was not last week, the week before, or something like that. I put Kellen in the bath. And I put like a sensitive skin bath bomb in. And it changed the colour of the water. Now I took him out and I put Lila in. And she put her unicorn bath bomb in. And how it works is it's a bath bomb. Then you've got to go looking around for the unicorn that comes out of it. At this point, obviously, the water was dark purple because of the bath bombs. And she didn't find the unicorn, but she found a poo.
Oh.
Picked it up. And I was just like, that's so bad. So Kellen was back in the spotlight. And then the other night, I just walked in and there was just like shit pips flying out his arse.
Oh, no.
I was like, you can't deny it.
Callum told Zoe different.
Listen, he'll tell you anything just to get a sausage roll.
I love it. It's hilarious.
Oh, is it?
Well,
you're not the one having to boil a kettle and rinse it out and then get the disinfectant in there. That's the thing, though. He's got about 25 toys in that bath, like dinosaurs and everything. And I'm having to get like a net and fish it out around it. It's like the world's shittest game of hook a duck.
Hook a duck?
There's no prize. Just more shit. Right,
so yeah, it's Punami says
it is. It's got absolute flag nuts flying around in there. It's a load of commerce.
So I've got one last question for you, and this is it could get serious depending on how you answer it. When Hybrid eventually retires from wrestling, are you gone for good, or is there anything you'd like to do, maybe backstage, on screen, ringside? What's the plan for when you're done in the ring physically?
Right, so I think what I could bring to the table
is a
not
turn.
yet, because I still need to work a lot on it in general. I think obviously once I'm retired, I'm not going to be one of them people who's bumping around still. My body will tell us when I'm retired. Not even that. Me age. Like, I'll just be like, right, I'm in me however old. Like, I should be relaxing. I shouldn't be bumping around, stealing glory from 20-year-olds or however old they are. But I think I could help in the creative side. Not so much like decision making on booking, but like I give good ideas with promos and things like that. And I think strikes as well. You see some sloppy strikes in wrestling, and they don't have to be. Mine gets sloppy a lot of the time when I'm thinking of what I'm going to do next. They'll go from like really good strikes to kind of just being like, that's just what I'm thinking. Once I tighten all that up, yeah, something like that.
All right. Nice to hear that you'd still like to take part in it and still be around. Because it would be a shame for you just to go bye and never see you again.
No one's that lucky.
So, Hybrid, perfect timing as well because we are just hitting the hour mark. I've gone through all of my questions. The only thing left now is the floor is open for anything you would like to say about anything we've discussed tonight, about anything going forward. The floor is yours to say what you want.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to say thank you to you, DJB, all the hard work you do behind the scenes. I'm not going to do that here. All the hard work that you do behind the scenes, making this happen, making IWF what it is. I want to thank Persona, the head trainer, just doing an absolutely amazing job of working with to the bone. But obviously, after every training session, we're grateful. And obviously, the Strange for having the faith in the people that he's took. IWF is open to everyone. Get yourself to training. You never know. You could end up in a storyline with matches with me.
Yeah.
You could, if you're watching this and you want to train, you could be the biggest feud of my career. I mean, I plan on having lots of big feuds, but yeah, you don't go to big Luke's and just have one plate, do you?
No.
Exactly.
No.
But I urge anyone, even if you don't want to get on shows, even if you just want to be around people who like wrestling and me, it's got people of all ages. Trainer's obviously got background. He's such a great guy. Obviously, you know DJB, we can't sing the praises enough. These are the type of people that will help you outside of the wrestling world as well, in general.
Yeah.
Strange. I've got 2 geckos there. That was my daughter's birthday present. She wanted fish, I got geckos, and that was because of Strange was asking if I wanted them. I was like, yes. Persona was obviously my trainer, my first trainer with David. He's been like by my side the whole way. He is like a winner. No matter how much you itch or wipe, he's still there. And all the people in IWF, I'm talking about the Walker, I'm talking about the Nates, the Alfies, the Kobe's, the Grace, Sophia. Whoopsie. Actually, now we're doing like real life thing, aren't we?
Look, it's behind the curtain. When she comes on, she can call herself whatever she wants.
Right. Yes. Grace. Fantastic. Who else is there? Ethan Dixon, undeniable.
Undeniable.
I took a right shine to Ethan. I know he had a bit, I won't go too much into it, he had a bit of a wobble a few months ago where he wanted to step away. And I was like, I wouldn't want to see you go. You've got loads of potential. And again, everyone at IWF works for Dropkick, any other outside promotion. I haven't said it enough about him on this, but Jam Dog as well.
Yeah.
He's always been one of them who's other promotions with us. He might not have been there at every show, or we might not have had like deep conversations. But he's an incredible bloke, full of knowledge, and he's on the other side of the phone. I'm very fortunate with that. So, just thank you to everyone.
Well, thank you for sitting down with us, giving us this behind the curtain look into your life, into your career. I hope one day I have you back and we find some new things out. We have newer things to discuss. A lot of IWF stuff. Hopefully you find a tag team partner as well. I know you've been searching far and wide for one of those. Can't wait to see where that goes.
Oh, I've got an idea what we could do for everyone.
No, I'm not being your tag team partner.
I've got a different idea. I was going to ask that. No top trumps.
My idea, folks, why don't we do a top trumps, right? So, go on.
Top trumps and, strip poker.
Oh.
Just me and you, and we'll put
Whoa. No. You want to play strip? You want to play strip poker? Just me and you.
Strip top trumps.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on Behind the Curtain. I've been DJ B. That has been the frickin' Pitbull hybrid, and we will see you next time for another excellent guest. Good evening, folks. Have a good one.